And then I got a collection notice in the mail from a collection agency.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Bleep the Budget. I am your host, Meghan McDonald, Senior Community Relations Specialist at Forefront Credit Union. Today on the show, we are talking about what happens sometimes when you're trying to do the responsible thing. You're trying to get together an insurance quote, and sometimes that turns into a bill that you don't actually owe and a mark on your credit report in the negative. It's a super frustrating experience, but it's an important lesson about advocating for ourselves. To help me tell that story, I am joined today by Luis Pardo, Forefront's Chief Experience Officer, who proves that even with more than 30 years of banking experience, you can still find yourself in a financial mess through no fault of your own. Here we go. Luis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for sharing with everybody that I've been doing this for 30 years. You wrote
that in the email.
You're dating me.
You wrote that in my email, I think, when we were talking about this. I'm sorry, just kidding. He's only been doing it for like 10 years.
Yes. Fresh face in the credit union space.
You are. You're a fresh face here still at Forefront, so.
Yeah, I've been here a couple of years.
Yes, still fresh, so we're happy to have you. And you were telling me this super interesting story actually just last week, and I agreed with you. Like, this is something that totally sucks for it to happen to anybody, but for it to happen to someone with a lot of financial experience, I mean, you dealt with quite a big headache with it. So what does the average person deal with? So thank you so much for coming on to share this story.
Yeah, happy to do so.
Take us back to the beginning. You were buying a house. You were putting together some insurance quotes for that home that you wanted to buy. What happened to make this such a nightmare scenario?
Well, it all was fine and normal, So we were buying a home here in northern Michigan and went through the usual steps. And anytime I'm shopping, I shop locally, but then also look nationally just to compare. But sure. When I was looking for homeowners insurance, I did get multiple quotes. And then one of a couple of them were by big insurance companies that we see on TV all the time.
Yep.
And then I ended up going with a local agency here that I'm super happy with. But what was interesting is that like a couple of months later, we start getting something in the mail that looked like a bill from one of these big insurance companies that we did not sign up for.
Sure.
And so at first I thought, okay, well, that's an error, and then I got another one. And, at this point they're asking for like a few $100s. And so I called and spoke to somebody and I certainly did not remember signing up for an insurance policy. All I did was just call and just ask how much it was.
Yeah, simple quote.
Yeah, but it really, their records show that I signed up for a policy, and so they were expecting payment for this policy. So that's when things started to turn.
Really? So at what point did you realize this wasn't just a billing mix-up?
Well, I think it was when I was trying to resolve it with the insurance company, and what they were saying was that, hey, our records show you signed up for this. And what I thought was going to be just an easy call and they'll fix it, and obviously it was an error. It wasn't. And I think once I got escalated and got in contact with somebody in a special complaints department, I got to really understand that they were not going to back down. They were pretty firm in that I signed up for this. So I simply asked for proof that I did, because maybe I did and I do not remember.
Sure.
So I just wanted some sort of written proof, some sort of digital proof, some sort of recording that would show that I signed up for this policy, because maybe I did and I didn't remember. But they refused to provide it and still said that I owed it. So ultimately, I don't make it a practice to pay for things that I don't use or buy or authorize. And they said they were going to, it would go to a collections agency and it would show up on my credit report. And that's where it kind of left. That's where it stopped for a moment, is that I wasn't going to pay it because I didn't sign up for it.
Sure.
And then I got a collection notice in the mail from a collection agency. They had done exactly that.
Wow. Can I ask how much the bill was for? What were they trying to get you to
It was
pay?
about $600.
Okay, $600.
Yeah.
So was that several months of a policy that they
It wasn't
several?
several. Yeah, it wasn't several months. It was like a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened when you asked them to provide the proof and they couldn't?
They simply said that no, we still owe it. That it's that they show it in their records that we owe the money.
Okay.
So I got really to a dead end, like ultimately, and luckily we were communicating via email at this point, and so I was able to keep records of the whole conversation via email, and it was clear that there was going to be that we had reached a standstill, and I didn't have anywhere to go in the company itself, so I felt like I had to find another route.
So when you got that notice that it had gone to a collection agency, is that when you saw something on your credit report, or did that happen later?
Well, right away when I saw the letter, again, I've been in the industry for a while, so I assumed that it was there. And when I went and checked my credit, sure enough, it was there. So it was pretty unusual because as a financial professional, as an executive in our credit union, like our financial responsibility is incredibly important. And so it was really strange to look at my credit report and see a collection there. So took some steps to remedy that, and ultimately that's what resulted.
Okay. How many dings did that put on your credit score report, just for people who maybe don't know? And if you don't know off the top of your head,
I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, because I think when I looked at it, it didn't show the score. It just showed that it was there.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how did you know what to do next? You're standing there, you're looking at this ding on your report, and you've got this collection notice. Who do you call?
Yeah. So, and also let me maybe go back to your previous question about the credit score hit. Well, I don't know what mine is. I just, from our experience, serving members, we know that like a collection can knock off 100, 150 points off of your FICO, depending on, a lot of other factors. So it can have an impact, especially when it's brand new. And so, but you asked about the next steps. And so, really what I ended up doing, I ended up with two things. First of all, I ended up disputing the collection through the credit bureaus. And then I also, what I understand is that most businesses have some sort of governing body that they are that they are a part of, that has some sort of oversight, especially when it gets to insurance companies and financial institutions like our credit union. And so in Michigan, we have the Michigan Department of Insurance and Financial Services, for short DIFS, and so I went and filed a complaint with DIFS for Michigan to let them know, hey, this is exactly what happened. I suspect, Meghan, like in retrospect, that when I called and got a quote, that whoever helped me decided to just sign me up for a policy. Because sometimes in those setups, sometimes those folks get performance incentives. Sometimes there's money involved. Sometimes, people need to sell a lot of policies to get a good performance review rating, so there, who knows why. Yeah. But that's what I've kind of put together. I have no proof of that, but that's what I suspect. And so I shared that with both filed a complaint with DIFS and disputed on my credit report and just waited, And luckily, I was very fortunate where I was in a position where I wasn't going to be applying for credit for any time soon. We just bought our house and there wasn't anything in our financial plans where we're going to have to borrow anytime soon. So I knew that this was going to hit my credit report for a bit, but we didn't have anything on the horizon to borrow for. And so finally, it took all that work. And then I finally got a response from Michigan DIFS, and to let me know that the insurance company has agreed to clear it, and that I don't owe anything, and that pulled the collection off my credit report, and it's like it never happened. But not without a lot of work and a lot of time.
So start to finish, how long did this entire process take?
I want to say this took about 7-8 months, maybe.
Holy
yeah,
cow.
to resolve. Yeah.
And that's a lot of patience to have and willpower. And, again, you've got a lot of experience in the financial industry. The average person does not. So do you think the average person would probably be able to tackle something like this if they didn't know?
And that was the big learning lesson for me, is that as I was going through this experience and I was highly frustrated, and I felt powerless.
Yeah.
And for a person like me who, like, I tend to be a person that's oriented towards action and getting stuff done, right? This was especially frustrating because I was powerless to do anything to it, or at least I felt that way. And so through the experience, it reminded me about like what we do here at our credit union, because while I am lucky enough to have like the experience to know where to go, I imagine most people don't, right? And so I think about, hey, like if this could happen to me, obviously it can happen to anyone, but also it's just like if it happened to anybody else, would they know where to go and how to resolve this? It's kind of complex. And so I'll just say here at our credit union, so like Meghan, you're not going to have me on your podcast and not let me like plug our wonderful branch team.
Plug away.
Okay, all right. Because I'll tell you, like I've been here a couple of years, and this branch, the folks in the branch, and anybody that has contact with our membership, they are just incredibly passionate about helping folks from all walks of life, and with their unique financial opportunities and challenges. And so here, what we did, we were very intentional. Like we want to be a place where you can go when you need help, guidance, a question, right? And so in all of our branches, all of our branch managers went through a pretty intensive financial counseling certification process. So all of them are certified for financial counseling, and and by the end of the year, we'll have all of our assistant branch managers certified for that as well. So like by the end of the year, our goal is to make sure that at any given point in time that there is at least one person under that roof that can help a person that's in need and can help provide guidance. And so this experience has really kind of inspired me to help provide that direction to make sure that our team is there to serve our membership no matter what financial situation they're in.
That's great. That's a good segue to my next question. What can we do if someone like you was to come into our branch or pick up the phone or come into us through our chat online? What can we do to help people that are in similar positions to you?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously every situation is different. So if it involves us, then we have more control over things, and we can correct them. And I think we've spent over 70 years serving our membership, and we're always going to do the right thing, right? But when it comes to things that are not related to our credit union, then there's guidance that we can provide. So, like, I'll share some guidance to anybody that's listening. Is first, we all get a lot of junk mail, right?
Sure.
There's so much, and like junk email now. Right? More junk email than junk mail.
Totally.
But it's important to look at it. And not just throw it in the shredder, because sometimes, there may be an error that you're not aware of unless you read. And also when you see something, like, don't assume that it's correct. Like if you question it, then make sure you're talking to somebody. And if you run into a situation like I did, it's important to document the interactions. So now the good thing is that a lot of companies right now are comfortable communicating via email, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So that way, it moves slower than just talking to somebody, but there's not a he said, she said aspect to it. Like,
Sure.
you can really document the conversation, and then just, know who look up who their governing bodies are. I mean, like in banking, we've got a ton, right? We've got a ton. But, there's agencies out there that cover all sorts of businesses. So know that that's always kind of a backstop if you're having trouble getting to a resolution with a business that you're dealing with.
That's great. If someone does receive a bill in the mail like you did, and it's not one that they recognize or they believe it's something that they don't owe, what do you think is that first step they should take?
First step is absolutely contacting whoever's sending you the bill. I prefer to do things in writing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get resolved as fast. But I like to have the record of the conversation. So if they give you an opportunity to either use a chat window or an email or any form of written communication is just helpful. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can always pick up the phone, talk to somebody there. So the first step is that, and then know that if you can't resolve the situation with that particular business, then it really depends on the type of transaction that we have, where else they go. So, like for example, if somebody if a charge shows up on your card mm-hmm. that you don't recognize or you feel like you didn't authorize, right?
Yep.
So if you can't resolve it with the business, mm-hmm. Then that's when you'd come to your financial institution or whoever holds your card, hopefully forefront, right?
Yep, of course.
And so that way we can help. We can file a dispute, investigate it, and help get you your money back. But we'll always ask, hey, have you tried to resolve it with the business first?
Gotcha. Okay, so that's the first step.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And we're here for you, like you said, if they need to go further than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again. The team here have just been getting incredibly impressed every day because not only do they help folks in situations like this, but they are incredible wizards at saving people money mm-hmm. on their interest rates on their loans. They're passionate about it. If you talk to one of our branch people, they will figure out a way to save you money and they'll quantify it. And we've had examples where we have saved members thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars.
I like that.
Yeah, because sometimes, we sign up for stuff years ago and we don't pay attention.
Yeah.
But it takes a partnership with a credit union like ours. Mm-hmm. Come in and sit down. Let us see what we can do for you. But the team is pretty amazing at that. And I think last check we started counting, and I want to say we've already saved members $2 million this year on loan interest savings from doing that work. So wow. If you haven't come into Forefront Credit Union yet and asked to kind of get your loans reviewed, please do so. You won't regret it.
All right, yeah. Awesome. Well, you heard it here first. I do want to ask you, Luis, at any point in this 8-month journey, did you ever feel like giving up? Were then just paying the bill just to get them to shut up and be done?
Absolutely. I have 1,000 other things I'd rather be doing.
Of course.
Than that. Yeah. So at the end, the choice was, okay, do I do that, or do I have this mark on my credit report mm-hmm. that is going to stay on there for years? All right. And then And then if that's the case, if whenever I did have to apply for a piece of credit, then I'd have to explain it away. Mm-hmm. And then whoever's loaning me the money, will they believe me? And so really the result that I wanted, it was for it to be completely eradicated. So I focused in on that. But it was really, really easy. It would be really easy to give up during that process. Yeah.
Well, good for you for not. And you don't give up either if you're in a similar situation.
Absolutely. I still keep a copy of the collection letter.
Why?
Well, it's a reminder about why we're here and why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So I like to have it up so every now and then I can look up at my wall and see, okay, this is who we're fighting for, right? We're fighting for the little guy who needs some help, mm-hmm. And luckily, like we've got really, really good humans here that are looking to help. So it's just a good reminder for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Luis. I think that's a good way to end the show, honestly. I can't think of anything else. That's a great way to end this. So thank you so much for sharing the story and your knowledge, for fighting for yourself and for future little guys in the future. So thank you so very much.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, final plug. Read your mail. Call if there's a problem. Come see us at Forefront Credit Union and we'll help you.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Bleep the Budget. We'll see you next time.